So that's it. This is Nigeria right now. Action. Dr. Nwangwa Uzonna.
Wow, Mazin,
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
good to have you here. Welcome to Irvin Global and Investment Group.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Ladies,
much.
how are you?
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm taking your time now out.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
please, sir.
All right, sir.
The hot seat.
Thank you.
Finally, we're having you on the Nigeria Right Now show.
Thank you so much.
This is
sir.
Nigeria Right Now with Dixon Irvin. Today, my guest is the Group Managing Director of Irving Global and Investment, Dr. Nwangwa Uzonna. How is Nigeria treating you?
Well, we are in this country together, and of course, nobody's finding it easy. Both businesses and individuals. But I think the question right now is how do we navigate? You know, because I remember post-COVID period, so it's a similar situation, but now it's more of economic crunch. So how do we move from here? Because the inflation will keep going up. So what do we do? I think that should be the question.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is man-made, isn't it? This inflation we are going through is not man-made.
Truth
it
it
was
is.
on that very day, on the 29th of May, the subsidy is gone. It's not what God has said.
But I wouldn't want to go political.
It's
No,
not
I'm-
political
I'm-
because everybody's affected, right? I don't know
Sure.
how you're faring with your platform, creating financial solution and all of that. Well, how is it like generally as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so personally, I'm a man of faith, and I wouldn't want to talk about the economic crunch without also referring to my faith, because personally, my faith is my reality. As a believer in Jesus Christ, I believe so much that when men are saying there's a casting down, I will be saying there's a lifting up. I go against the wind, but I don't want to be insensitive to the plight of Nigerians. I think in as much as I believe in God, in as much as I believe, I have so much faith that I will have to go against the wind. But I think we should be saying something that should affect everyone.
True.
Because all of us are in this together.
Because
Yes.
since you are providing financial solution,
Yes.
I'm wondering, is the environment enabled enough for you to make these provisions available?
We are private sector people. We try to strive regardless of what the
How
government.
difficult is it for you?
It's difficult because the prices of things have gone up. What you buy with maybe 100,000 before, now you have to spend, especially when it has to do with electricity, you have to spend in millions. And the truth of the matter is, our interest rate hasn't gone up, and we can't even increase it. It will be like punishing the consumers or our customers. We can't increase interest rates. We have to maintain what we are doing. It means that our profitability margin hasn't increased, but our expenses have increased. So it's everybody's going through it.
It's difficult.
And you're also forced to increase salaries with same profit, but you have to pay higher. So you see, most businesses are shutting down, but you see, we are just being helped by God. That's the reality.
It's 8 years since
Yes.
you came into existence.
Yes, sir.
2016?
2016, yes, sure.
How did you come about the vision for Irving?
Personally, you know, most of us are privileged to know where we are going to, even at a tender age. I'm going to tell you a dream I had when I was 10 years old.
So and you remember it?
Yes, I remember very well, because I woke up that morning and I had to share with grandma. You know, I had...
You grew up with your grandma?
Yes, I did.
So you're a village boy?
I am.
Okay.
From Ishialangwa South. You know, my dad is from Obingwa, so I grew up with grandma. That's my maternal grandma at Ishialangwa South in Abia State. So I remember at age 10, I had this uncle that was living in Kano at the time, and he was there for a long time. I think there was some sort of unrest in Kano. So my grandparents thought he was dead. So at age 10, I had a dream, and I saw him coming back. with a lot of convoy, Prado jeeps and all that. And then I woke up that morning, I told grandmother, so uncle is not dead. You should be expecting him because this is the dream I had. So, but she didn't believe. She said, oh, we've cried, we believe he's dead and all that. But, shortly after that period, we saw him come back on an Okada.
Convoy.
Yes. So, and then the night when he came back, I had another dream. And the man explained the meaning of the dream I had then. He said, the man you saw that came back from the north is actually you. But I had to use the same dream to explain two things to you. First is the reality of the fact that your uncle will come back. And then secondly is going to be your status in the future. So you see, there are a series of dreams like that. And
so that shaped your mindset?
Yes. So I already knew I was going to go into finance. I also knew I need a lot of fear of God to be able to excel in the financial sector. And that was why my first degree, I had it in theology. So even while in the class, they would ask me, you're going to be a pastor. I said, I'm not sure, I'm a banker. So my lecturers, my teachers didn't quite understand what's this guy up to. Nobody knew. Even myself, I didn't know. I was just playing the card that had already been written for me. So here we are. So when I joined the bank, I was in Oceanic Bank, I was in Diamond, I was in Skybank. So I actually spent about 6 years in Skybank. So I had an experience. I think I took a loan from one of these finance houses, and I had to do a calculation. I was like, okay, this is not a bad business. So I had to go about getting my cost-benefit analysis, market survey, and everything. So when I was ready, and it was just two weeks into my marriage, I had just gotten wedded with my wife. And
2 weeks into your marriage, the
yes,
vision came.
Yes. And I wanted to resign from the bank. So I shared the experience, the idea with my wife. And she was like, how will people think? They're going to think you are crazy. Don't you think you are too young for this venture? You're just...
And then someone just starting a family.
Yes. At the time, I think I was just 29 or so. I said, God, if this is your will, let me do it. Have your way. Like you've been having your way in my life. So that week, we went to work. And then they had already marked our branch for closure. When we got to the office, they said we are all asked to leave the office, from the manager to the cleaner. So while others were crying, I was busy rejoicing. I was telling, oh God, so this is how Yes. I said, I made a request from you, and you have honored me, and you have answered my prayers. Because the company was already registered.
Wow.
Yes, so that same day, I started the business instantly. And I remember I had a friend then, his name is H.A. Williams, so I told him to join me. He said no, because he wasn't also sure. Because, people are scared of beginning. People are scared of starting. So it was highly uncertain where we are headed to. At the time, a lot of people didn't believe in the vision. I know I met a couple of mentors, and they said, no, you can't do this. You are too young for this. Even people who had risen to the level of assistant general manager, managers in the bank, can't do it. So how do you want to go about it? You don't know anybody. You need the assistance of the police, the military, political will, power, and all that. I said, no. If I have faith in God, that's enough.
But beyond faith, what about the place for hard work? Someone listening now, especially in an environment where religion seems to have eaten deep into people. What is the place of hard work in all that you have achieved now?
The fact that I'm mentioning faith, faith without work, is dead.
Yeah.
What faith is belief and hard work. Belief, of course, belief will spur you into working hard. And working hard should also make you believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And this is what will help you, to guide you, so that you will not give up. The Bible says Jesus Christ, because of the prize that was set before him, endured, in other words, worked hard.
Let's bring it to the state of our nation.
Yes.
The current government at the federal level talks about renewed hope.
Yes.
And the state of the country is kind of gloomy. Everybody is going through excruciating hunger and all of that.
Yes.
You're bringing the biblical perspective, angles and all of that. How can we relate it to the happenings in our country? Is there hope in our country?
Yes, there is always hope. If there's no hope, we won't be having this conversation. There's hope.
Lots of people have given up hope.
I should advise them not to give up, because there is always light at the end of the tunnel. It's only people who are alive that will see the Nigeria of our dream. It's only people who are hopeful, those who believe in the dream of Nigeria. This is not the end of our story. We're just getting started. And I believe that this is not time for us to give up. It's not time for us to apportion blame per se. We need to stand up and fight. What I mean is not literal fighting with gun and knife, no. We need to stand up and have faith and believe in the enterprise called Nigeria.
Is it enough to have what about the examples that should come from leaders? Because Irvin wouldn't have gotten this far without leadership. Truth. How can you bring that in?
Okay, so I personally think that, first of all, in the aspect of the leaders of Nigeria, they need to believe in Nigeria.
The leaders themselves?
The leaders. They need to believe in Nigeria. They need to also have love for the people, because everything starts from the basis of love. What will make you not to take your resources out of Nigeria to go and keep your money in Swiss accounts or in Germany or in France is the love you have for your own people. What will make you to build infrastructures, build companies, is the love you have for your people. You know, I remember this story of a certain village, and they wanted to bring electricity to that place. And then the chief of the village asked, this electricity you guys are bringing, is it for my house or for the whole community? And they said it was for the whole community. So he said, no, he doesn't want
the whole community.
The whole community. How would they know that he's the chief of, I mean, it should be only his house. So this level of selfishness shouldn't be mentioned or heard of in Nigeria or in Africa. This is where it starts, where I think that every other house can look dirty, only my house should look polished. Every other person can trick and starve, only myself and my children. You know, every other person is not entitled to go on vacation. My employees are not entitled to go on vacation, only the MD. And no, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Okay. Please hold your thought. We'll
yes.
come back. We'll go on a break.
Yes, sir.
We'll come back. This is Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebu. Today, we just set to venture into the aspect of finance, and we came to the Group Managing Director of Irvin Global and Investment Group. That is Dr. Nwangwa Uzonna. We'll be right back.
I love this program, Nigeria Right Now, by Dixon Irebu. It's a program that hinges its operations on patriotism, on making Nigeria better. I love it because they don't look at your faces to ask you questions. And I'm someone, if you are interviewing me, you must be hard on me for things to come out. So I love this program, Nigerians. Please watch Nigeria Right Now by Dixon Irebu. Ciao.
Welcome right back. This is still Nigeria Right Now with Dixon Irebu. Today my guest is Dr. Nwangwa Uzonna, the Group Managing Director of Irvin Global Investment Group.
Thank you, sir.
Global and Investment Group.
Yes, sir.
All right. I know this finance thing, I'm not very conversant with it.
Okay.
But I would want to ask your vision. Your vision. What is your Nigerian dream? Since someone like you at 10, could dream about your own future, and somehow you have guided yourself through prayers and commitment and hard work. What is your Nigerian dream? Especially young people who are watching now, what would they take away from you?
Okay, so I want to see a Nigeria where our young people are not eager to leave the country, where everything is working, where means of livelihood is accessible, where cost of living is affordable, and even to the minimum. I want to see a Nigeria where our young people are proud of our country, our motherland, where they can go anywhere and they say we are Nigerians, where you can travel out and you see you're following Nigerian and we say, oh, we are missing Nigeria, we need to go back. Where our hospitals are working, the school system, we are proud of. You can go to Abia State Polytechnic and you don't wish you didn't go to school because you didn't school in Harvard, where Abia Poly can compete with Harvard University, where we are proud of who we are. When you travel,
the infrastructure.
Yes, when you travel to UK or you go to America, and they say, where did you school? You say, well, I schooled at Babcock University, and they say, no, you have to take it. You say, no, instead of me to take another certification in Harvard, I'd rather go back to Nigeria, where we are not looked at as second-class citizens or even third-class, citizens, where a certain president cannot refer to us as a shithole country. These are insults. I personally hate insults. So this is the Nigeria where our young ladies will be proud of, to say, I worked hard to be where I am today. This is Nigeria that all of us wish we have, and we believe that we.
Where the leaders will lead by example.
By the grace of God. Yes.
Because by every means, leadership matters.
Of course.
Because I think Irvin wouldn't have gotten here without leadership.
Sure.
So if he didn't get here without leadership,
yes,
what sacrifices do you put on the table for Irvin to thrive?
I believe in Irvin. I have to believe in Irvin more than any other person, more than the employees, more than the customers. I believe in Irvin. I have to, personally, I don't do breakfast. I don't do, for the past 8 years, I don't do breakfast. I don't do lunch is skeletal. I only do dinner. Because
Why?
Because I want to be fit. I don't want to come to the office and doze off. I don't want to. I want to be with my senses. I don't do a lot of things. I was just telling my people yesterday that if you know what you're carrying, you can't dance like every other person. You see, the big masquerade doesn't dance like, this. Most times they direct the masquerade on, okay, sit down, he sit down. Stand up, he stands up gradually because you're carrying something. So our leaders in Nigeria should be made to understand that leadership isn't a child's play. Leadership is not about what you can acquire, because a man's life does not consist in the abundance of the things he owns. Leadership is about seeing that everybody is happy, seeing that the average person, the poor person in the villages, they have access to basic amenities. That's what leadership is. Leadership is seeing the next person smile. I remember the words of T.Y. Danjuma. They asked him what is his happiest moment, and he said, seeing that poor woman that he assisted, saying thank you to him is his happiest moment. Personally, seeing my employees happy, walking elegantly, rejoicing, saying proudly we work for Irvin, that's my happiest moment. And most times, any day I pay salary, I'm happy because I feel I've touched a life. Yes, this is what it's about. It's not about buying Lamborghini and all that, going on vacation. For the past 5 years, Mazi, I haven't gone on vacation. I'm not interested. I can't go on vacation when the people are not happy, when my employees have not received salary. I can't.
And if you should go for vacation,
yes,
who says it must be
outside Nigeria? That's the point. That's the point. But I will tell you, you see, the people that also rubbish the image of Nigeria are also Nigerians.
Yeah.
The people that feel it must be America, it must be UK, it must be also the same people. The same people. They feel, oh, you don't do some of these things because you can't afford. They don't see that you are making sacrifices for them. So everybody, both leadership and the followers, we need to have a rethink, a change of mindset if we must get the Nigeria of our dream.
I agree. Because as a man thinketh in his heart,
so he is.
I agree. Now, if the president of this country were to be watching this show right now,
yes, sir,
and the economic situation seemed to be confusing and biting terribly, the policies may not have been completely appropriate. That's why it's the way it is. So is there anything you think the government of the day can possibly adopt from your perspective that can help Nigeria?
Yes, a lot of things. Let me start with the issue of subsidy. We know, you and I know, Mazi, that the issue with subsidy is corruption, not the subsidy itself.
So what should be tackled is corruption.
Corruption, not
and
subsidy.
Not to remove subsidy.
Yes, because it has affected the common man. So what you should be looking at is corruption. When they say we are paying subsidy of 1 trillion naira, who are they paying it to? What is the cost of that subsidy? We need to understand a system where pardon is the norm. So these are issues we need to deal with. And then secondly, recently the president started the Credit Corporation, that's Consumer Credit Corporation, headed by my friend Uzonna. That's a very good step in the right direction. But giving credit facilities is not just about giving credit facilities. It's not about making money. It's about bettering the life of the citizens. Take, for instance, United Arab Emirates, Dubai. What do? They make access to vehicles available for their citizens. Now, what happens is that, and they have a law that citizens must not use vehicles that are more than 4 years. That's the date of production. We can bring such laws here. You say for every working class citizen of Nigeria, you can have access to brand new vehicle. Take, for instance, 2023 Toyota Camry. And the government will make it available. Instead of using that money, instead of even using that money given to the state government, you know that most times the governors will not use that money for anything. They'll use it for their own personal or whatever. Use it, buy these vehicles. You can buy 10,000 pieces. Give it state by state. Say every worker, every government worker or every private sector worker
to be entitled to this.
Yes. So what happens is that you give it to them. By the time they pay up to 4 years, you take it back, give them another, let's say in the next 4 years will be 2028, right? So you give them the Toyota Camry of 2028, take it back. So what this means is that just by driving a brand new car, even their mentality,
and all of that.
I'm telling you the truth.
But my worry is because you mentioned the brand.
Yes.
What's wrong?
It mustn't be. No, there's nothing. I just mentioned Toyota because it's a popular brand.
Just an example.
But of course, the likes of the Innocents are there. Yeah. The likes of Nod, they are all there. So we can go for this. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong.
So government can rejig the subsidy regime.
Yes.
And
rechannel it to providing,
not to remove it, but to tackle the corruption in it.
That's the point. So we know the issue is corruption. It has always been corruption. When a National Assembly member says his salary is 1 million, but in reality, he's collecting over 30 million. So that 1 million is not the whole truth. It might be the truth. Because we might say
that's basic salary.
Thank you.
What about those allowances?
Allowances. So at the end of the day, the man is telling you my salary is 1 million, but his salary is not 1 million.
So you think our leaders are living above their means, or what? For instance, the president just acquired a new set of private jets for fleets of jets for the presidency and all of that.
Mazi,
is it possible that this simply showcases wastage, kind of? Do you think so?
I have some friends in the government. And I think some of his senior aides are my friends. I asked them, they said these vehicles were purchased how many years ago? Over 16 years ago or so.
16 years ago?
That's what they claim. And they needed to change. But be that as it may be, I don't think that is the issue. The issue is, what is the actual cost of this private jet?
Is it inflated?
That's where the issue is. If it happened that you are the one to purchase it, are you going to buy it? Are they going to sell it to you?
That expensive?
That's the point. So if the jet is worth, for instance, $70 million, and someone is telling us they bought it for $150 million, that's where the problem is.
The same issue of corruption.
Yes. So that's where we should focus on. And I listen to leaders like Olusegun Obasanjo. These are the issues in Nigeria. The issue in Nigeria is corruption. And we must deal with it. I know Part of the reason why a lot of people voted for General Muhammadu Buhari in 2015 was the issue of corruption. We wanted someone that would come in and look at corruption head on and tackle it. Yes.
Alas, did he do that?
Well, I'm sure you know you know what the answer is. You know what the answer is.
Okay, what about someone like you? I know you'll be uncomfortable with this,
yes.
But what about someone like you in the private sector?
Yes.
And because it's not enough to sit and critique the government.
Yes.
What's wrong with you being in politics, or are you in politics?
I'm not a politician.
What are you running away from politics for?
Most of us here, it's what the things involved in becoming a politician in Nigeria. That's where the issue is. You know, where you have to, your life becomes a trait, where you have to do some certain things. You know, I remember having met one of the, I think it was one time former Minister of Foreign Affairs. I saw him recently and I said, sir, you are supposed to be the president of this country. He said, no. He said, there's no elections. He said, elections are written. You know, that's really struck me for someone at that level, you know, so making such utterance. Yeah, it was very, very discouraging. And not just only private people, people with the fear of God. Because we don't want to play dirty. I don't have to kill you to become a president. Yes. You know, we once had a president that says his ambition is not worth the blood of anyone. That's in a sane country, that's how it's supposed to be. It's not a do or die affair. You want to serve. So if I want to serve you, I don't have to beg for it. It's only if I want to lord myself over you. If there's something for me to gain, then I'll have to do it at all costs. But if it's about service, if it's about servanthood, you know, I shouldn't beg for it because I want to serve you. I want to satisfy you. I want you to be happy. I want you to live the good life. So that should be based on merit. So if you think you don't want me, I don't have to, you know, kill myself for it.
So you never venture into politics?
I wouldn't know.
You never say never?
I wouldn't know for now.
All right. Dr. Nwangwa.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. God bless you.
Nigeria right now with Dixon Irvin. Of course, you know what will come to on the show. It is to promote patriotism. For a young man who has carved a niche for himself, Irving Global Investment Group, as far as I'm concerned, inspired us to come ask some very salient questions. How is he doing it? Especially in a nation where everybody seems to be lamenting and all of that. Yeah, he said that he operates a different kind of economy. Well, I agree that there's a divine support to every effort that you put. However, he has reeled out here that hard work also must come to the temple. Because faith without work is dead. If this nation will be great, our leaders should ensure that we activate the hard work part of it, make sacrifices that is required for us to build a great nation. I would always say on this show, remember that part of the anthem which says that we may build a nation where no one is oppressed. That is why we came this way. How do we do that? The leaders, it comes back to your table. Make some sacrifices for us to build a great nation. I'll see you next week on this same show, Nigeria Right Now.